All right, good morning, everybody. Don't forget, this is day 2 now of section 8.1. Now, this time we're going to find the volume of a triangular prism. This is pretty much the same as what we did with the rectangular prism, except now our base is going to be a triangle. So whenever you have a triangular prism, your base is automatically the triangle. Here's the reason. When I color this one in, notice parallel to it, there's one exactly like it. The other sides don't have that. Only the triangles have a matching parallel side. And so the first thing we do, just like yesterday, is we want to find the area of the base. Remember, because we're dealing with a triangle, now we're going 1/2 base times height. And I understand it's a little weird. It's like another beat, very different than this one. We're just talking about the triangle itself. Now with the triangle itself, remember we're always looking for a 90 when we're trying to do area. So there's a 90, look, there's a 90 down there, so there's a 90 up here, which means the two numbers that I'm going to be using are 3 and 4. So for the area of the base, we're going 1/2, 3 times 4, and so 3 times 4 is 12. Again, use the calculator. 3 times 4 is 12, take half of that, that's just 6. And now we can do volume, just like we did yesterday. Volume is equal to the area of the base, which we just found, times the height. And just like yesterday, remember what we said? We said the height is the distance between these two bases. So in this case, we're looking at this area right here. So if you notice, there's a number that's left out. It's just there to try to throw you off. Don't fall for it, of course. We're not going to be using that 5 at all. And so my area of the base, we already know is 6. The height, well, that's going to be the 4 right there. So then we're going 6 times the 4, so volume is equal to 24, and then don't forget the unit, we're dealing with miles, so miles to the power of 3. Remember, volume should always carry a power of 3. 3D object, keep that in mind. Now, for our last example for today, again, we're trying to find the base. Well, remember, when it's a triangular prism, a triangular box, the triangle itself is the actual base. And the thing to be careful with, remember, when you're doing the area of the base, so B is equal to 1/2, and then we're looking for the two numbers that create a 90 in the triangle. Now be careful, this kind of looks like a 90, but we don't know for sure. But if you look at this bottom triangle, this one does show a 90, which means the only numbers I should be using then are 3 and the 9, because that's where I actually see that 90 right there. If there's no 90, we can't put it in there. We did it earlier because if this is a 90, then it matched the number on the top, or it matched the angle on the top. So I'm going to use the 3, and I'm going to use the 9. Now this one isn't going to work out as nicely as the other one because it's 1/2 of 27, which means the area of the base is actually a decimal, and that's okay. That's why in the directions it says round to the nearest tenth, so it's 13.5, not a big deal. So now volume, we're ready for volume. Remember, volume is the area of the base times the height. Well, again, let's look for the height. The height is the distance between these two triangles, and so the only distance between them would be this one. So we're going to be using the 8. Again, there's always going to be some numbers that they're going to throw out there to try to get you. Just don't fall for it. In this case, we're just going to use the 8. So then it's the area of the base, which we said was 13.5. And we're going to multiply that by the 8, the height. And so, ladies and gentlemen, volume is equal to, just multiply, use your calculator, use the decimals calculator if you need to, 108. And because it's in centimeters, centimeters cubed. So again, ladies and gentlemen, that's how we find the volume of a triangular prism. Remember, the triangles themselves have to be the base for this type of problem.